So that Monday, that big rally on Monday was all paper trading on the COMEX, as you know, and as the buyers came into the market, so the managed money traders and the others that were buying long contracts in the COMEX futures market, which is what the act of them doing it is what caused the price to rise. But while they're buying long contracts, somebody has to be prepared to go short against them, because you can't buy a long without a short, and you can't go short without somebody buying the long side. And that's what was happening. As always, it was the exclusive commercial banks and some commodity trading houses that were willingly taking the short side of the trades all the way up in price, and then they ended up, capping it out at up 5.3% or whatever. But there was a short for every long. In this case, on Monday and Tuesday combined, the short position increased in silver by 16,000 COMEX contracts, which is 80 million ounces of the stuff. And Friday's Commitment Traders report, I suspect, will show a record commercial net short position in silver, the likes that we've never seen before. And this was just another instance of massive shorting to prevent silver and gold as well from blowing sky high on that particular day. So it's the same old at the moment. And, I'll be able to talk more intelligently about it on Friday once I see that report. But, they're still there keeping the lid on the price. But, we're looking at the price action for the last month or so, and it's just a matter of, how long can they keep this thing contained before it finally does blow, because they can't keep it up forever. GATA was formed, the Gold Antitrust Action Committee was formed in around 1999 by Bill Murphy and Chris Powell, and I became actively involved with them several years later. Right from the start, Moriarty dumped on us for years, saying that nobody cared what the price of gold was, certainly not the Federal Reserve, and it wasn't being managed. This went on for, at least a decade or more. But finally, as it has dawned on the gold community, is that GATA was right. Rather than admit he was wrong, he just changed his tune to saying that all markets are being managed. And we haven't heard a peep out of him about it in the last 15 years or so. But this is typical of the attitude back then. And there are still some of these so-called precious metal experts, and I'm not going to name names, that deny it vociferously in public, but they know better, and they'll admit to it in private, but they never say it because they have a certain peer group they hang around with, and to admit that they've been wrong for the last quarter of a century is not something they're prepared to do. But nowadays, and there are very few people in the precious metals world, whether it be commentators such as yourself and myself and everybody else, that aren't aware that the prices are being actively managed almost 24/7. Well, let's start off with the gold question first.
Yeah.
As you know, gold has been rising, strongly for the last 6-8 months. It's really been screaming so far this year, and the sole reason for that. And, we've seen lots of gold shipped from London and Switzerland into New York. I mean, everybody's talking about the huge deliveries in the COMEX and all the frequent flyer points the gold is picking up between London and New York and Switzerland and New York. But the real reason, and it's fine. I mean, hey, it's great. I mean, we all love it. But the thing is, here is why the gold price rose. And it's for a simple reason. Since the beginning of the year, the commercial traders, the guys that are short the market, and short silver, they have bought back 147,000 gold contracts that they were short, either through delivery or buying back a long contract to cover the short position. Now, 147,000 gold contracts is 14.7 million ounces of the stuff. And when you go into the market and you buy it, whether it be paper or physical, that's going to drive the price higher, and that's called a short covering rally, and that's exactly what we've been having. So that's why the price has gone up, and of course, the result of that is, there's increased demand in the retail market to a certain extent, and now the big hedge funds are starting to get involved. So, it's been a self-fulfilling and, been feeding on, it's a feedback loop that's, really gained momentum, and with the U.S. dollar and everything in the toilet, and the talk of war here and the talk of war there, and, things going on in the United States government along with Donald Trump and on his big, beautiful bill. I mean, this is all just, throwing gasoline on a fire. So, along with the short covering, the gold's really been on a tear. But as for, and even then, silver is, the amount of gold going into all the world's ETFs and mutual funds is we're at record high price, what, $3,500 in gold right now. And there is less gold in all the world's ETFs and mutual funds and depositories now than there was when gold broke above 2,000 several years ago. So, even in gold, the institutional buying is not there. It has picked up a lot, and I'm sure that'll change over time. But right now, it's not what it was back when gold was 2,000, and why that's the case, I don't know. You don't know, and nobody else knows. I mean, it's been amazing to watch, and everybody's commenting on it, and rightly so. Now, as for silver, that's really different. To get people involved in silver, they're going to have to get involved in gold first. But the thing I've noticed, and I subscribe to Nick Laird's Charter Us website, and I get all my statistics from him. I just commented on the fact that even though gold has not, the amount of gold in all the all the ETFs in the world has not got back to where it was when gold was at $2,000. In silver, it's the opposite. Even though we haven't even got back to 35, let alone 50, the amount of silver that's being deposited in all the world's ETFs and mutual funds and depositories is now back to where it was at its high of about 5 or 6 years ago. So even though, gold hasn't reached that mark yet, silver is already there. So there's been stealth buying in in silver, as we've seen, in the deliveries in New York, and amount of silver that's been flown in from London as well. And we've also had stealth buy. I've been commenting on this in my column for the last couple of weeks now. We have had stealth buying in the silver equities now for the last couple of weeks, and I just noticed on my